Professor of Law at NYU, thanks for standing by with us. Could you give our viewers an idea of what this trial will look like? Much like a trial in a court of law, or how would you describe it?
This is not going to be like an ordinary criminal trial. In the first instance, this is no ordinary defendant. This is a former president of the United States. By the same token, you are not going to have an ordinary criminal trial where you have impartial jurors. The Senate themselves will be sitting as jurors in this trial, and there's no expectation of impartiality. In the same vein, there's no expectation that the House managers, who will function as prosecutors here, are required to prove all elements of the crimes charged beyond a reasonable doubt, which would be the standard in a criminal trial. Instead, the standard for each senator is simply whether or not she believes that the threshold for impeachment has been crossed and that a conviction is warranted. Also important to note here, there are actually two votes that the Senate can take up. One is the question of conviction and whether to remove Donald Trump from office. That, of course, has already happened since his term in office has concluded. But there's a second vote that can come after that, and that is whether or not to permanently disqualify him from holding public office. As to the first question, whether he can be removed, a number of senators have already floated the possibility that because he is a former president, this impeachment trial is constitutionally impermissible. A lot of constitutional law scholars have been debating this. Many of them believe that, in fact, it is permissible as a matter of constitutional design, that the framers would not have intended for a president to evade scrutiny for official misconduct solely because his term of office had come to a conclusion. But this particular loophole might provide some senators with political cover to avoid actually inflaming their base by convicting, while also not appearing to condone the actions that the president possibly incited on January 6th.
Regarding rules of evidence, would you anticipate there would be, for instance, videos of the insurrection as it happened? The video that so many of us have heard, as a number of them said, well, the president sent me here to do this. What's allowed, what's disallowed, if anything?
That's the thing. It's not like an ordinary trial where there are specific rules governing the admission of evidence. This is for the senators to work out for themselves. They get to make the rules for this. They get to determine whether or not there will be witnesses and what kind of evidence will be admitted. So we may well see video evidence. We may see testimony from individuals who participated in the insurrection in the Capitol. It really just depends on what the senators work out for themselves. And again, this is another way in which this is not like an ordinary criminal trial. This is something that's going to be brokered, a matter of compromise between the two sides of the Senate.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.